Alright fellas, good morning gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I want to start off by thanking everybody who's been watching and all the new subscribers. Really appreciate it, boys. Today what we're having for breakfast is a door closer that doesn't want to close automatically. So I'm looking at the panel and it looks like there is an alarm, and the alarm says EC2. So I was kind of jogging around with these functions and it looks like our opening function is operational. So essentially you just push the button and everything happens automatically. So now let's see, our close function is not operational, but they also have what's considered like a bypass, and you can hold it and close it. So that's good. That just tells me that it's not a motor fault. So let's go ahead and get up here to this control panel and see what we can see, boys. Alright fellas, so right off the bat I can hear like a little alarm. I don't know where that noise is coming from, but anyways, I can hear that little alarm, and right here I can see program parameters and error codes. Yeah baby, now they're speaking my language. Let's talk errors, boys. EC2, here we go. I missed it. It says closing safety switch. Yeah, that sounds like an issue we're having, right? Problem area, safety switch. Safety switch arm may be loose, retighten, or see section 17. Well then let's head over there, boys. So then I also brought up kind of a spit out of all the little components involved, and I seen that one of them says safety switch and it's pointing to kind of right here behind this box, which is that box right there, right behind there. So it would be somewhere right there, and there, lo and behold, there's a hatch door. All right, we're on the right track, boys. Safety switch. So we're looking for that thingy. So I'll put on an APB for him and we'll see if we can track him down. And then it also says go to section 17, which here's section 17, right? It says adjusting the home, safety, and leading edge switches. At some point, blah, 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 blah. You guys get the deal. But there it is, there's the safety switch. So let's go ahead and start at the beginning, and let's just go ahead and open her up and see if we can see anything that stands out to us. All right, fellas, here we are. We are here. Let's crack this boy open. So I'm looking at it, and it doesn't look like there is a safety switch. It looks like there is a safety sensor. So this sensor is showing green. So I want to see if this light changes depending on the position of that this roll-up door material. So let's do this, fellas. Let's just go ahead and pull, and this will tell it. So I'm going to actually pull this out to either trip it or untrip it, and we will see, because this is definitely what section 17 was talking about. So now we are no longer green. We're no longer green, fellas, right? And it looks like a new fault appeared, EC3. So that definitely wasn't it. Let's put this little guy back in there, and let's have him go ahead and just keep detecting that material right there, which is just fine with me. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of move around some of these wires to make sure that it's not getting cut on the metal in there, and check our little connections. All of that looks good, boys. So let's go ahead and head down and we'll check her one more time. Let's see, let's send her down, and we're still maintaining a fault. Okay, so another thing that I had noticed was that this light, see that light, that flickering light? I noticed that light was flickering. So I'm noticing this little light flickering on and off, like if something's catching and then engaging and then not engaging. And I think it's that light that's causing this code. Okay, so I am noticing some noticings, boys. I noticed that when I hold this limit switch all the way out right here, fellas, that my little indicator light right here at the corner, the one that's glitching, stays on. So could it be, let me open this limit switch up and see if those connections are tight inside. All right, fellas, I hope that's not too bright for you. So I'll just go ahead and leave that light in there like so we can have some light So I believe this one is the safety switch. Actually, no, boys, I was wrong. What do you know? I was wrong on one. This one says this is a home switch. So this is the home switch. So that would, by the power of elimination, process of elimination, boys, that would make this the Hans assembly lead edge switch. Oh, so this is the home switch and this is the edge switch. Okay, so where is the safety, boys? Where is that safety switch? Anyways, I noticed the issue here on this bad boy, so we'll just see what we can see inside, boys. So let me just go ahead and give these little terminals a quick tightening, right? And those terminals seem just fine. Okay, yeah, all of this looks good. I don't think this is our culprit, boys, because even when I disengage this boy, another light comes on, and that's the lead edge switch. Okay, and we still have our primary safety indicating even while I engage my lead edge. So we have two functions that lead to the same little indicator light. So let's go ahead and find that other one. I'm just not seeing the safety switch in this location, although I do see another mounting hole where a safety switch would be in the case of that manual, and I'm just not seeing it here, fellas. So they lied to us. So we got to go on the hunt and find that safety switch. This is the RS600M roll seal, and I do believe that all roads lead to this panel right here. All right, fellas, here we are. We are in the guts. So that there, boys, is an encoder, but we are looking down this edge. So I did notice something else on the way in. All right, fellas, we are inside, and I noticed that it had this little emergency release, and this is for a safety. I'm up here in the control panel to see if may or may not be any kind of loose connections, and I hear an alarm, but I don't see one. I don't know what is buzzing, what is beeping. Something in here is beeping its butt up. So there's the brake. That is the brake. So a AS and a PS I'm seeing down here at the up and down station control pendant. So I'm gonna have to go look up where the AS auxiliary switch and the PS position switch, or I'm gonna have to go see what that means. At the same time, I'm gonna look up the exact part number, because this was just kind of a general RS 500 and 600 series doors. So we're gonna go ahead and look at this guy, and we will see what we can see. All right, boys, we are back, and my deepest apologies for pulling you guys off camera, but I had to get back to the laptop and pull up some more of this manual, because the original portion of the manual did not cover what I needed to see. So you guys see me kind of run around with like a chicken with his head cut off, you know, just kind of trying to find switches on this door closer. So this is the troubleshooting guide. Now remember, boys, it's just a guide. It's just gonna guide you in certain directions, right? So while I had you guys off camera, I went and I started printing out some other sections of some other areas of some things that I needed to look at. Basically, we're dealing with safety and closing issues. So I'll kind of walk you through what I found as I was gone. So now in the beginning, I had a little indicator light that kept flashing right here, on and off, on and off, on and off, and I felt like that had something to do with the issue that I was having. It did not. So I've already found the problem, and I apologize for doing it off camera, but I was getting super frustrated. I was about to throw in the towel and just go be a janitor. I was just playing, boys. Anyways, so the little indicating light that you guys seen flashing right here, I went and looked it up, and that is a door closing sensing switch, which basically senses an obstruction in the door, and I will show you those sensors now. So basically this sensor here and this sensor here, boys, are the obstruction. So if there was something in this path, it wouldn't allow the door to close. Now what was happening is they have this blower hooked up right here, and what it was doing is when the door was fully closed, the blower was blowing, and this material right here in the middle was getting and breaking the sensing beam between those two photo eyes, and that was throwing me way off the mark when it came to troubleshooting this thing, boys. So I went ahead and pulled the fuses for these blowers for the sake of trying to hear myself think, and to stop just to see if it affected this indicating light, and lo and behold, it has. So let me believe that I was kind of on the path, on the way to finding the problem. So then as soon as I got rid of that illuminating little light, I was happy with that, but that didn't solve our original problem. The other thing that I looked at was when the door is fully down, these three lights, these three flat dashes indicate that the encoder doesn't know its position. So I was kind of looking into that also, and while I was in the manual reading, I also came across this, which is this little strap that you guys may or may not have seen in the inside of the operation. This is a pull-up, manual pull-down, which is an automatic egress, which if you pull this strap down, it will pull up that curtain so nobody is to get stuck in there, right? So I was kind of reading into that because on one of these pages, it indicated that behind that curtain, there is also a switch, which would make up the third switch that I've been looking for in this entire assembly here, boys. So I only seen 2 switches when it originally said there should be 3 switches. So they basically translated that safety switch into the egress switch, boys, and that they didn't tell you. That's why I tell you, the troubleshooting guide is just a guide, you know, for the quick low-hanging fruit, boys. So I say all that to say this, and I'm, you know, got stuck here for the better part of a good 30-40 minutes. I got to looking for this egress switch, right? So it says that this egress switch has a little panel covering that covers it, although this is a different model than the one that's indicated in the manual, boys. Right, so I came in here and I opened up the little plate for the model that I do have. So I opened up this little flat plate. You guys can see where that flat plate was, right? Looking for that switch. Now, I didn't actually find the switch, but as soon as I opened this flat plate, I noticed that the switch would be more on this side, and I did see the wiring for the switch, right? It's just basically 2 orange wires, boys, 2 oranges. So I said, well, hey, all those wires must head to the same location as the other harnesses and the other positioning switches and homing switches, etc., etc. So I haven't been able to see how I'm going to access this switch yet, but I troubleshooted it where the connector is, and I will show you that right now, boys. So here we are back in the panel where all the roads lead. Now remember, I had originally said that these 2 holes have all these switching coming through them, which is basically my, that is called the, so this is called my leading edge switch, and this is my home switch, right? Okay, so I never seen my actual safety switch, so I was kind of wondering what that was, where it was at, and my safety switch goes down this hole, which is actually behind this curtain and I don't have access to. That's why they gave you this little access port, boys. So I said I can't access that switch to see if either it's closed or open or it came out of position, but I do have the connector here, boys. So I had opened the connector and it had no effect. So I said, if that connector had no effect, I don't know whether it's supposed to be closed or open. So what I did was, I said, well, hey, what the heck? Here is the portion of the connector that goes back to the controller. So I created this little jumper, and as soon as I jumpered out this switch, boom, the noise stopped, everything went back to normal. Everybody's happy, boys, everybody's happy. So we need to find out how to get to that switch, fellas. So bada bing, bada boom, we found our problem. Now, how to fix the problem, I don't know yet. Okay, boys, I'm here, and here are the two orange wires, right? And they go all the way up to about midway in this panel covering. So it looks like I'm gonna have to get that panel off in order to solve this problem. So I'm basically looking if there's a cheat code that I can use in order to not get this entire panel off. It looks like I'm gonna have to get all these bolts off, get this panel off just to access that switch, which is somewhere right in this location right here, boys. And that is going to suck. But hey, it's work, and I'm taking all the smoke. I want all the smoke on this one, boys. Let's open her up. So this is it, boys. So that is our switch right there, and this little hub, which pulled down for whatever reason, this little hub got stuck in the downward position, and all you had to do is, that's it. So I am wondering if I take a little bit more tension off of this nut right here. So yeah, let me take a little bit of tension off of this nut, and hopefully this problem will never happen again. All right, boys, here we are, and I'm just taking just a couple turns off of that nut. The nylon lock nut is still engaged. I can still feel a lot of tension on it, but hopefully, there she is, boys. Look at that. No more catching, boys. No more catching, fellas. That was it, boys. That was it. Just had a little bit too many threads. Somebody got a little too excited when they were putting this assembly together. A little too excited, boys. And there she is, up and down like a little lowrider. All right, fellas. So now that we have her off and all opened up, let's go ahead and get a good look at her in action. All right, fellas, so I'm gonna go ahead and cycle her on, and there she is. No lights present. Ah, that's a beauty. So now let me go ahead and take my jumper. So now let me go ahead and get my jumper out, boys, and I will plug her back in, and we should hear that a little alarm go off. Bye-yow, fellas. What do you know, man? That was the long way around a problem, because they made that switch absolutely unaccessible. This isn't your traditional run-of-the-mill repair, boys. A lot of times it's definitely not this much effort involved, but hey, sometimes they like to keep you on your toes, huh? So now, let's see operation. So the door is open. Let's go ahead and boom, all automatic, boys, all automatic. Yep, we got positioning now too. Yep. So it used to just have the three flat lines. Okay. So let me close this switch. So let me go ahead and give her some slack, because she's beeping. But we are definitely right along the path of the problem. So there she is, boys. There she is. So now that I loosened up the slack on that emergency pull, let's test her out one more time, and let's get her to do her thing. All right, let's go ahead and throw her down, boys. All right, fellas, now we have a position, a fully lowered position. We have a fully raised position. So this number indicates 429, what that encoder, information that encoder right there is pulling, boys. So that definitely needs that information, and for that yellow safety strap to have just the right amount of tension given to it, and that lock nut has to be slightly loose enough so that roller can toggle up and down and act as like a cantilever. So there we are, boys. There we are. A whole bunch of nothing just to access a switch, fellas. So what is the takeaway on this one, boys? Let's say, first is to know troubleshooting guides aren't the answer, they're just a guide. Definitely read your manual and know all the players involved. And this was a normally open, normally closed problem off of a simple switch, on and off switch type deal, closed open position switch. And don't give up. That's basically it. And read your manual. So I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope everyone, or at least some people, got something out of this one, just watching this whole stupid process. And this is it. This is the type of stuff you're gonna run into on a daily basis. You're just gonna have to work your way out of these problems when they hit your lap. So I want to thank everybody for watching, boys, and I really appreciate the view. And if you can, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me and the like while you're at it, boys. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe out there.